Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Bilo, I am your host, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome, and thank you for joining us. If you're wondering what this channel is about, well, this is where Kaizer Chiefs fans meet and talk about different things surrounding Kaizer Chiefs Football Club. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. And today's special shout out goes to Lamza Davi Boy. So guys, as you know, I give shout outs to people who comment and who engage with me down on the comment section, because this channel is exactly for that, engaging with people on the comment section. I start the conversation here and I just want to converse with you guys down on the comment section. So please make sure to talk to me because I make these videos for you. Anyway, today I want to start by just saying people should stop making a big deal of the fact that we lost to Chippa yesterday, because now people are saying, oh, first match under Zwane, Chiefs loses. Calm down, it's a friendly and Zwane was trying different things, so it's expected to might lose a game in a friendly, and that does not mean it's the end of the world. So calm down, okay? And Vele, the topic of today will also have to do with some of the things that happened yesterday. But today's video is more about the strikers that Kaizer Chiefs have, who are currently doing tryouts with Chiefs. Now, who am I talking about? I am talking about, obviously, the first one being Musa Kamara, a striker from Sierra Leone, doesn't have a team right now. I am talking about Ufuat Johnson. He's been here for a couple of weeks now. And then we're talking about Wade Lekay, former TS Galaxy player as well. And lastly, Bonfils-Caleb. My goodness. Now, I want to go through all of them and see which one could Chiefs end up signing and why. Starting with Wade. Now, Wade vele iminyaka iyamvuma, and one of the advantages that he has over the other strikers that are there is the fact that Wade has been playing in the PSL already. He's played in the top flight. So he's between being young enough and having enough experience to play in the PSL. So he's like a mixture of both, and he kind of fits the bill. The only problem that is there right now with Wade Uguti, having played for in the PSL, Uguti having played 45 matches with TS Galaxy, and knowing Uguti he only managed to score 7 goals in 45 matches. But this is the PSL, where at one season Parker won a golden boot by scoring 10 goals in 30 matches. So you know those are very few goals, but at the same time you also have to think about what team was he playing for, and in that you also have to think about the fact that in that team there wasn't much supply compared to what he would be getting at Chiefs, because good Chiefs he supply corner Gudoli on the other wing, or Maidlali 10s or Bicon supply from the right and the left wing. There will be a lot of supply, so it could be a different thing. He could be a totally different player when playing for Chiefs, because he would be getting a supply. Because another thing about Wade Lekay is the fact that he's not just like a striker who you're expecting goals and that's all you'll ever need. It's also the fact that he's comfortable on his feet. So if you give him the ball, he can take on defenders. Because one of the things that I was talking about in the Chiefs, Uguti, one thing that you don't want in your strikers ile ukuthi kube nje box strike, umlindele expected to do things a boxing, and once they figure them out, then they're done. Look at Unukovic, for instance. I know Guti, he also had injuries and also had was played by a coach that didn't seem like they knew how to use him. Kwakuba ngathi mase figure out how to block him from attacking the ball in the box, then they would have nullified him. But if you have a player who has more dimensions to his game, like Guti can take on players, but at the same time he can be at the back post, he can be drifting somewhere somehow and finding space with 18 or wherever, then there is an advantage. So I don't think Uksign Wade like would be such a bad deal, if you will, because he one of the things that is important is the fact that he's a free agent one, so there are no fees that we're paying to any other club, and the fact that he will not need to be adapting to a system ukudlala eSouth Africa under the weather conditions, because also those things affect that. But having said that about Wade Lake, I want us to move now to Umusa. So this is Umusa Kamara, a striker from Sierra Leone. He's 21, and yes, I'm laughing because I'm looking at this man and I'm thinking, una 21 lo noma is it the 21 umnyaka yebhola? We know phela ebholeni kunomnyaka webhola, and then there's your real age. So it's possible. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, do make sure to hit a like. I appreciate you very much. But masikhuluma ke ngoMusa, as I said, ukuthi, well, I haven't said anything about Umusa. Ukuthi, one of the things about him, ukuthi, what I've seen in the videos that I've watched, which might not be a good idea, is that he uses istatue sakhe ngendlela right. He has vele mkhulu njengoba nimbona there we go now Umusa. He's a big guy with muscles and all that stuff, and mawumbona edlala grounding, you can see ukuthi he uses his body to his advantage, ukuthi akusikho nje ukuthi umdlalo omude but for nothing. I once saw a shorter player winning a header against, I think, Castro, and I was so defeated. I'm like, if a shorter player is winning my headers against you, I'm just saying ukuthi it's something that is not talked about enough. If you are huge or tall, it's expected you're gonna win headers, but it's not always the case. And I've seen him when he gets the ball and he's dribbling or running at defenders, he uses it as well to guide players off and getting bullied by Amayama team, because some teams just bully a striker to a point they take you out of the game. We've seen it happen sometimes with Nukovic, but if he gets someone who matches his strength to a certain extent, then all of a sudden uyaphume egamini. But if kumuntu okwaziyo ukuthi asebenzise umzimba wakhe against bigger defenders, then you have an advantage. Also, another thing that's very vital in players abangama forwards is that if you can also drift wide to collect the ball kwesinye isikhathi, that in a way also helps if you are flexible enough to do that, because some are just not able to do that. I'm just making an example. Ngonukovic, they try to make him a striker that will drift wide to come and collect the ball, but ubehluleka ukudriblisha ama defend. But what I've seen also with Umusa, he is able to do that. Drift wide, come with the ball, and take on defenders. Lo muntu njalo, he's a forward. Look at Benzema. I'm pretty sure he's going to win the Ballon d'Or by the end of the year. But on the left, Real Madrid, and he funi Madrid, but this is what it does very well, Benzema. He can drift wide, njalo kudlala Vinicius on that side. But he can go that side, I collect a ball. In that way, Vinicius can now pose a threat which is running in behind. And I'm a defender now, don't know what to do, because the number 9 usepumile position on the side. And by doing that, it's just causing him mayhem defender, because now they don't know, should we track with Benzema? Should we now chase Vinicius on the left? At the same time, kono munyo rana ngale kwa right, mhlambu Valverde or Kroos or Modric bayapusha bonke, ngiphethwa amakhanda ke manje ngisazi ngidefende kanjani. And you want that, because lento kwesinye isikhathi unamba 9 kumele ahlale boxing, you become predictable. And he's not that kind of a player, and he's not that kind of a player over ahlale boxing, but he goes and collects the ball. And this thing I'm going to keep on mentioning it, if you're a striker or any player really who's about to play under Atazwane, you must have good ball control. And I've seen Uguti, he's good on his feet with the ball. Akusikho nje ukuthi silinda ukuthi akakore, but he can also create for other players as well. He can dribble, can pass, he can play a 1-2 and lay the ball off for the incoming midfielders or play the ball to the wingers. So that's good to see. And if ukuthi yibo vele I don't know ndaba yama trials ukuthi who scouted them good beze, but from vele the very from the rawest of forms beswabonile outside, you can see ukuthi they can fit the bill, especially mosubanikeza training and drilling the system kazwane in their heads. Another like alert. Like this video if you're enjoying. Click like if you're enjoying this video. And let's talk about Ufuwad Johnson. So he's the boy obedlalela Stellenbosch. And I talked about him a few weeks back. So angazi yena ngimbone edlala, but into yamangazi noma they are still making a decision yini about yena, because he's been there for quite a while and we haven't heard anything. Or maybe manje sebelinda ukuthi naye abe like ngathini, what can I say, compete sekukhona the other three. But ukuhlala kwakhe could be significant in two ways, because the fact that he's been there for this long, it might mean that's because of the fact that Chiefs is still watching his abilities further, which could only be positive, because usually if umuntu engabanga that good in my trials, then they get a boot and then they are out. But the fact that he's still around and is still training with the team, then that's the only thing that could be positive about him. Nah, not the only thing. Also the fact that he's been multi-choice disc challenge, which has already been playing there. That means experience in South African football. So the factor yoguthi like Umusa, he will still have to adapt to South African football and climate. Ufuwad doesn't have that, so he will just have to be like drilled into the system, which he's already getting right now. So I think it could work if Ngempela has the qualities that are needed. But I want to talk about this man. So Bonfils-Caleb, he's from Burundi, he's 24, another free agent. Now, as Kulumengayek. So just like Umusa, he also has stature sakhe ukuthi he's tall and he's big. He's not that big, but he's tall enough to be able to just put off defenders, and he's been doing that in his previous teams. And what's interesting about him is the fact that kule game at sidlala cheaper, he did play. I didn't watch the game, but reading I had ukuthi he played. So what does that actually mean? Ukuthi the first game here preseason, he's the first one who was given the running, and there is no talk about ukuthi Ufuwad is the one who started, or Wade Leke. You'd expect Ufuwad is the one who would have started, given the fact that he's already South African and he knows South African football. So you then think ukuthi maybe Chiefs have him as like their number one target of sorts. Of the four free agents that are there, it seems like you could argue Guti is that, because now if he's being given a run-in, because the players who are given the opportunity to start are our new signings, Omati, or Mahlatsi, the other guys, or Solomons, or Queenie Kanjal. So you see, if he was already like in that conversation, you're good, okay, let's get the new boys to start, and he started, then it makes me think, okay, maybe Chiefs is really eyeing him, and I understand why, because what I saw again watching some of his videos is the fact that he's a smart striker. I will say that. I saw it with Umusa as well, to Western Skati, drifts wides to get the ball and all that stuff. But what I saw him doing much better is being able to watch the ball and watch the behavior of the defense and find space and score a boxing, is to put pressure on the ball, go and collect the ball and start attacking and pushing forward. And being quick as well, which is not the quickest, but he's quick. He's quick enough to take on defenders and make them panic and cause some, I don't know, some panic in defenders' minds and hearts, or whatever, where panic comes from. So it's interesting to see Guti really Chiefs have already given him a start. And now I wonder Guti, how did Zwane feel about his performance yesterday? all of that will be seen by the end of this week probably, because now it's like 11 manje, we're like 3 weeks away from the start of the new season, which I'm excited about, by the way. Click like if you're enjoying the video. So I'm excited about that. He's already been given Uguti, we are going to a new season, and we've already started seeing Uguti which striker can better suit our style. And from all of them, I think given enough training, they could end up being good players. The only risk that we're running with Upimenyimana no Musa Kamare is the fact that they will still have to adapt. What do they call it? To acclimatize, like ukuthi bajwayele the weather, bajwayele everything that is in South Africa and how the weather works, because mabejwayele ukudlala in a different environment and now they're coming to play in this environment. But come on, I don't think it would be such a big deal for them to adapt, given the fact that kade ngibona bedlala emaxhaphosini umusa ubonta lo muntu lo he groundy kugcwele amanzi and they're still running. So you think a player who has played in such in those conditions, then it would be easier to play FNB. You get what I'm saying, right? So yeah, that's that. It would be interesting to see. And I would like to hear your guys' opinion as well, good team. The question of the day is, should Chiefs go local, no wait, no, wait or forward, or do you think they should just go international and risk the player not being adapted enough? Which striker do you think Chiefs should go for? That's the question I'm asking you. Let me know down on the comment section. And by the way, a lot of you watch these videos and are not subscribed. So do subscribe, guys. Do subscribe, and also do just leave a like. If you subscribe is too much of a commitment, then just leave a like. I appreciate you very much. I will see you tomorrow, and until tomorrow, remember, Khosi, I'll pay you more.